All at once, this little Mustang had its turn signal stop working, its backup lights, and its fan blower. And so today, we're gonna see why in the world all three things stopped working together. When all these went out, my first thought, of course, was, well, it's probably I blew a fuse, right? But then I grabbed my manual to see which fuse it was gonna be, and I realized that all three of those things are not on the same fuse. In fact, they're covered on two different fuses. So that's a little bit odd. So let's start off anyway. We're just gonna check the fuses. And what I've done is I've set this to read continuity. And I've got it to where anytime I have continuity, I get a beep. And so I'm gonna test for continuity on both sides of these two fuses. That's my blower fuse right there, and I have continuity, so that means that fuse is good. It's not blown. And then this is the fuse, I think, for the turn signals and backup lights, and of course that also has continuity. So we do not have a blown fuse. Now that I know that the fuses are good, I'm going to instead check to see if I have power on those circuits that those fuses are on. So what I'm doing is I'm changing this to read DC voltage, and then I'm going to take my black lead, which is right here, and I'm going to just clip this over here to hopefully some bare metal. So I've got the key on, and we should have power to this fuse box now. And so I'm going to go ahead and just do a known good area right here and see what it reads. And there it is. It's showing 12 volts. Now let's move down to the fuses in question. I'm going to touch the lead right there. All right, that's my turn signal backup light circuit, I believe. And I've only got 13 millivolts. I need to be seeing 12 volts. And then this is the blower. Same thing, 13 millivolts. I should be seeing 12 volts. And so that means that we do not have power coming to the fuse box, which means there's no power elsewhere. So that narrows it down pretty quickly for me, I believe. Since there's no power going to the fuse box, that means most likely I'm thinking it's actually the ignition switch is causing my problem, because that's where the power from the fuse box comes from. One thing you can often do just to confirm that's your problem is turn your blinker on. Mine's on. Of course, nothing's happening right now. And then when you turn the power on, you can try to fiddle with the ignition key. See if you can get that blinker to start working. Sometimes it means if you just pull it back just a tad, not enough to turn your car off, it'll come on and start working. I'm gonna go ahead and change out my ignition switch anyway, because they're not very expensive, and I still feel like that's probably my problem. However, if it's not the problem, then I'll probably be looking at the wiring going to the fuse box as the next likely cause. Maybe something popped out behind there. It's not unheard of for a wire to come loose, especially on a car this old. I do want to go ahead and mention right now that what if you checked those fuses and you did find power at them? And then you're going to be wondering, well, what do I look at next? And so if you did, I know that at least if you're trying to diagnose the turn signals, I mean, maybe you're watching this video, maybe you just have turn signals that don't work, but you do have a blower that works and things. That turn signal power is actually routes from the fuse box, I believe, and I can't remember which one's first, but it definitely comes to these hazard lights. And as you can see, my hazard lights work, but there's still the power comes through this switch. So if you pull this out, you might want to have a good look at the wiring there. I don't know offhand which wires feed where, but at the very least, you can check and make sure you don't have any wiring issues that are visible right there. Another place, if you are having turn signal problems, that you should look into is actually the turn signal. I believe it's a relay. And if you look inside your it's located behind your dash, and it moves around. I've seen it in different spots in different Mustangs. But if you pull your glove compartment down and you pinch it so that it drops all the way out, somewhere back in here, you're going to find, there's mine right there, nice and accessible. If I can get it out, maybe. Okay. You're going to find this little thing, and this is a relay for the turn signals. It's actually sort of what makes it go click, 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 click. And so you might want to check for power here. You might want to replace this if you're getting desperate to find the issue. Those also are really cheap, so no big deal to fix. This is the ignition switch right here, and accessing it's actually super easy no matter what Mustang you have, but it is different depending on whether or not you have an airbag car or not. For this airbag car, I just had to remove a couple screws and pull the bottom part of this steering column plastic cover off, and then remove 3 bolts and pull this this steering panel cover off right there. Going ahead and also removing this plate and 2 bolts up here on the top. In order to remove this, you are going to need a special Torx bit. What you're going to need is a T25 Torx bit that has that little hole in the center of it. And if you don't have one of these, I'm going to put a link to where you can just order one on Amazon to get one. Otherwise, you could probably find these at your auto parts store. One of the top screws in this will seem to be stripped, so I'm not removing it all the way, but I can get to it just high enough that I can get my wrench where I need it to be. So that's good enough. I'm not really surprised to see that this isn't the original ignition switch. You can see this tab's been broken off by whoever replaced it before. These were common issues with these old Mustangs. But anyway, try to just pull that tab up without breaking it, and then it should slide right out. Got my new one here. Comes with a little thing that holds it together. You just slide that off and out, and you'll notice right here is a little hole, and you just need to make sure that that little hole gets that little piece right there inside of it as you put it together. But other than that, taking this thing apart, putting it back together, it's exactly the same. So I'm not going to show all of the steps or anything like that, but once I get that in there, then it's just going to screw it together, and we should hopefully have turn signals and blowers and all that good stuff again. Let's hope. Before I put it all back together, I want to go ahead and just test it out, because it'd be a lot easier to fix a wiring issue with things apart than putting it all back together, obviously. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this key on. Whoa! Yep, blower works again. That's a good sign. Let's check the turn signals. Oh yeah, there's my nice turn signals back again. Yay! And I'm not even gonna look, but I guarantee I've got backup lights now. So that fixed it. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, would you mind helping me by clicking the subscribe button? I appreciate you.